the Kentucky clerk, who was anti-gay, who decided not to do her job, has been found in contempt of court and taken into custody by federal marshals. Now, the judge had declined to solely rely on levying fines against her, Kim Davis, because he believed that she would start a fundraiser to pay those fines. And that's actually, like, I could see that happening too. Because look how successful the pizza thing was, raising, of course, bigot money from bigots to fund a pizza place that hates gay people, as well as the cakes to fund anti-gay people. Well, this judge, he wasn't having it. So, no, he believed she would start a GoFundMe to pay these fines, and said that it wouldn't actually be an effective punishment for non-compliance with their sworn duties. Now, her statement on this, it says, I've weighed the cost and I'm prepared to go to jail. I sure am. She was talking to Fox News' Todd Starnes about this before her court appearance, and she also says, this is a heaven or hell issue for me and every other Christian that believes this is a fight worth fighting. No, it's not. It's actually really fucking dumb. Now, according to the AP, the U.S. District Judge told her that she would be jailed until she complied with his order to issue the licenses, and also reported that she had said thank you before she was let out of the courtroom by a U.S. Marshal. Now, as I said, this is interesting because she's only there for as long as she wants to be there. He's saying, look, you can go if you actually do start doing your fucking job. Now, how long is that going to last? The only person putting her in jail at this point is her, for refusing to do what she's paid to do. Why doesn't she just resign? I mean, that would have been easier than going through all this. Well, it's because she wants to be a fucking martyr. And she wants to be a martyr, and she wants to, of course, be famous as somebody who, quote-unquote, protects traditional marriage. Well, as details of her past have come out recently, since she was put under intense media scrutiny, well, a lot of people have looked at her past, and it doesn't look good. Now, she had said earlier that I have no animosity toward anyone and harbor no ill will. To me, this has never been a gay or lesbian issue. It's about marriage, God's word. Well, what does God say about marriage? Now, that's very interesting. Now, in the Bible, traditional marriage was anything but what she actually thinks it is. It was, what is it? One woman or one man and one concubine. One man and one slave. One man, one woman, one concubine, one slave. Or 300 wives and 1,000 concubines. When it comes to Solomon. So, no, biblical marriage is not exactly what you think it is. And I think the best thing about this is that she embodies that. Because she is on her 4th marriage. I'm serious. She was married 4 times. 4 times. And there's so many different details. I'm not going to get quite into them. But I'm just going to say what gives her the authority to talk about the sanctity of marriage. Really. Not only does God hate divorce, well, he also hates mixed fibers and shellfish. And, look, I don't know about you, but she certainly looks like somebody who's probably eaten a lot of shrimp. You know why? Because shrimp is fucking delicious. There's very few people that I know that don't eat shrimp. I'm just saying. Basically, you can't just pick and choose what parts of the Bible you want to follow, which biblical laws you want to follow, and cherry pick. I mean, you can't do that. That's not allowed. But see, people like her, she doesn't understand that. She's only been a Christian, a born again, for about 4 years. Maybe she didn't get to that part in the Bible yet. It's crazy. What it comes down to is this. We're a nation of secular law. Okay? Your religion is protected. You can go home and practice whatever voodoo you want, as long as it doesn't hurt or infringe upon the rights of somebody else. In this case, you are infringing upon the rights of someone else, of a couple that wants nothing to do, or nothing other than to get married. and to spend their lives with each other in an expression of love. You are infringing upon that right, and you're also infringing upon the rights of straight couples who also want to get married, as you've said and demonstrated that, no, I don't want to sign any marriage licenses. I don't want to do it at all. I'm just going to stop doing my job. To what end? To what end? You think you're going to go over the court? You think the court's going to say, oh, never mind, Kim Davis stood in the way, so gay marriage, sorry all you gay couples, we're going to have to reverse our decision. It's not going to fucking happen. What is she expecting to happen? Was God going to come down and say, hey, you better leave my girl Kim Davis alone? You know what I said about the gays. You know what I said. I got her back. No, that's not going to fucking happen. No, what she's going to do is she's going to sit in jail. She's going to waste taxpayer money. You think about that, conservatives who are defending her. She's wasting your money on a futile attempt to, what? Gain fame? That's the only thing that's going to come. You're not going to stop same-sex marriage. It is already the law of the land. No, you need to fucking quit your job. If you can't do it, if you are not comfortable with it, then you need to quit your job. That's like me going on the radio or coming on YouTube and saying, you know what, I'm not going to fucking talk. Well, if I do that, I'm not going to have a job now, am I? No, because I wouldn't be fit to do my fucking job. If you're a Muslim butcher and you don't want to touch pork, maybe you should fucking quit your job. Because obviously, you're not going to be good at it. If you can't do the job, leave. But now it's already too late. Now you're in jail. Now you've landed yourself in jail for no fucking reason. And you're wasting all of our time. And our tax money. It's ridiculous. And look, the gay couple didn't even want her in jail. The couple's lawyers had asked that she not be sent to jail and instead be fined. And guess what? She was, up until this morning, she was collecting a salary of $80,000 a year while not doing her job. It's amazing to me how she can get away with this and then have people, and I'm going to get to that later, that are on her side. That are definitely on her side. Let me give you an example of who's backing her now. Kentucky Senator Rand Paul. Come on, Rand Paul. Really? Really? Quote, I think people who do stand up and are making a stand to say that they believe in something is an important part of the American way. Yeah, but she's standing up for denying someone else their constitutional rights. Once again, how is that part of the American way? The American way is to expand rights to people. That is what we have done, traditionally. That is progress. We expand people's rights in America. We don't take them away. And that's exactly what she is trying to do, is to take away these people's right to get married. He also says, I think one way to get around the whole idea of the Supreme Court is forcing on the states is for states to just get out of the business of giving out marriage licenses. Alabama has already voted to do this. They're no longer just going to give out licenses. And anybody can make a contract. And then if you want a marriage contract, you go to a church. No! Because marriage isn't a religious thing only. It is a religious and a civil contract. Now, I understand, like, Rand Paul says, well, we should just get out of it, get out of the whole business and not recognize marriages. At all. There are some people who agree with that. I don't. I disagree with that. I think there are good incentives to get married. Good incentives to help families. I guess the whole purpose of the government getting into marriage is to say, hey, we're going to give you a benefit for keeping the population up. Because, or else we're going to end up like Japan. Which, by the way, has a very serious crisis on their hands. Where people are not getting married. Or I should say people are not having kids. They may be getting married, but they're not having kids. That's a serious issue. And what marriage here is, in America, as recognized by the state, is a union of two different people. And they give out those incentives to encourage people to have families. Incentives when it comes to, taxes. Now, I understand where Paul is coming from, but I don't necessarily agree. I think incentives are good. I think incentives are great for people getting married. And I think those should be extended to same-sex couples. Just for the simple fact of it's equal. It should be equal across the board. It should be equal across the board. Simple fact. Now, Louisiana Governor Bobby Payush Jindal also sides with Kim Davis. Quote, I don't think anyone should have to choose between following their conscience and religious beliefs and giving up their job and facing financial sanctions. I think it's wrong to force Christian individuals or business owners. I absolutely do believe that people have a First Amendment right, a constitutional right. I don't think the court can take that away. Once again, we're not taking away your religion. Nobody's taking away Kim Davis's religion. She believes whatever the fuck she wants, but when she comes to work for a government agency, she has to do her job. Or else she shouldn't have that job. Simple as that. Now, Carly Fiorina actually took a different approach. And she told Hugh Hewitt, while she disagrees with the gay marriage ruling, a government official follows different rules than an average citizen. Quote, given the role that she is playing, given the fact that the government is paying her salary, I think that is not appropriate. Chris Christie actually also said that government employees have a different obligation than regular citizens. Christie also said it's important to allow the exercise of religious freedom and to enforce the law. Now, Lindsey Graham probably had one of the more interesting ideas as well. Comply with the law or resign. That's pretty simple. The rule of law is the rule of law. We are a rule of law nation. While he said he appreciates her conviction and he supports quote-unquote traditional marriage, doubtful, Lindsay, you're probably taking a wide stance in the bathroom stall. Not that I have a problem with that. Graham says, look, she accepted her job where she has to apply the law equally to everyone. So, there it is. How long she stays in jail for doing what she's done is completely and totally up to her. She's not a martyr. She's trying to make herself into a martyr, but the only one keeping her in jail is her.